What's up, vlog? Back on another adventure. We are going to Tanzania. Me and my mom are going to Tanzania, and then I'm meeting up with Tifa in Morocco, and then I'm meeting up with Vivian in the UK. So this flight is going to be about 3.5 hours long to Washington Dulles. We'll have a 5-hour layover and then a 13-hour flight to Ethiopia, and then a short layover there, like an hour and a half, and then like a 3-hour flight to Tanzania. These guys are playing handball with like a mini soccer ball, and they're hitting it back and forth and hit on top of this thing. And now they got one of the workers, and one of the guys is climbing up on top of this thing to retrieve it, which is what we predicted would happen when they were hitting it around it. Now it's time for lounge tours, but it is 5:30. The earliest lounge opens around this time, the Capital One Lounge, but I can't go in until this airport gets 1.5 stars out of 10. Because all of the seats have armrests on them. I had to look up which gates have seats without armrests, and it's like a few gates in Terminal C or in Terminal B. So we walked all the way over here, took the train, and the layout is just a bit convoluted. Our flight took off at midnight, and we got here at 5 a.m. Capital One has more options than Air France, but Air France had eggs and hash browns, and they win for that. But Capital One has the cafe bar in this one. They didn't have it in Philly, but they do have it in Denver, and in Dulles Airport they have we can get iced chai. And then they also have, I got fancy chocolate chip French toast and some sort of coconut yogurt parfait. Ethiopian Airlines getting an A+ for organization. They organized us by row, and then also by which aisle we had to go up. Made it to Ethiopia, 12.5-hour flight, and I think I slept around 4 hours. The chai is very honey-y, and the croissant is very buttery.
It's delicious. It's really buttery. What's up, vlog? Made to the market. I got to ride here on a Bolt motorcycle, so that was very exciting. And now I'm looking for my mother. A tuk tuk. I just almost got run over by a tuk tuk. And I've already gotten called Ching Chong and Live Ching. And a guy just tried to reach out and grab me. A lady also reached out and grabbed my shoulder.
so loud. And orange.
What's up vlog? Today we're going on a bike tour. I got about 4 to 5 hours of sleep. I slept between 10 and midnight and like 3:30. So we rally.
Into cleanup, we are going to do cleanup just to make sure that we are saving the plastic and everything to do something and to give education to the community.
What's up vlog? Okay, last night I got about 7 hours of sleep. I slept from like 9 to midnight and midnight to 4, midnight to 4:30. So we're making progress. That's like I had an extra half an hour past 4, and then I also went to bed earlier. So.
Most of the people came here to wash the car. Passenger and for the cabin. It was reduced in 2000. Soil.
But they carry a lot of rice.
While I was bike riding, I felt like I had an aura of heat. Like anytime we stopped, I was just radiating heat, like in a cocoon or something. And then that was like okay once we were riding through the fields, because when we were riding, the breeze was nice, it was pretty. We'd stop and I'd be like, let's just keep going. So I could feel the breeze. And then right when I thought we were almost at lunch, we went into the forest. We saw some monkeys, which were cute, but it was so muddy because it had rained so much the night before. We were slipping and sliding everywhere. I felt like I was mountain biking, like down a mountain. And that was fine until it got too slippery on to walk the bikes. That was not fun. Then I was feeling the heat aura. I was radiating heat, trying to go through this forest. Every time I thought we were almost there, it just kept going. And then we got to this big tree, which was like, I guess, the highlight of the tour, but I was just standing there radiating heat. And then he said that the gate to the end of the forest was near. It was not near. It was not near. And then I got to tuk-tuk back to the lunch spot. We saw some very good views, but I was very hot most of the time. Then we went back to our accommodation, which was very pretty and had very cute cats. And we got a tuk-tuk to a bus, which tuk-tuk brought us to a random side of the road, got on this very crowded bus, like hip to hip bone, like pressing into each other, armpit to arm, like very close. The ones with like the seats that go down in the middle, except there was like way too many people sitting in one row. And then when someone from the back has to get up, everyone gets up and like squeezes past. Your backpacks are going in people's face. You're sitting on people. But that lasted like a half an hour, and then enough people got off that we got to move up like to the front of the bus where there were some seats. But it was directly behind the driver, so like there's nowhere to put your legs. So our legs were crunched the whole time, and my knees, I got weird knees, so it was not comfortable. But I was next to an open window. That was a good thing. It would have been so much worse if it was hot the whole time on the bus, and it wasn't because the breeze was coming in, and there wasn't a lot of coughing and like sneezing while we were sitting cramped in the middle. So that was nice. Once we got up to the front, there was more coughing, and so I was like leaving the window open to get some airflow instead of closing the curtain to block the sun that was right on us. And the bus stopped like every few minutes. A journey that should have taken like 2 hours took like 2 hours and a half to 3 hours, and I slept for part of it. It felt like it was 5 hours long, but we made it. We made it to Arusha. Immediately after we got off the bus, these people started yelling Chinese, Chinese at me, and then we walked over to a corner to order a bolt. And then one of the guys just came up to us and just like stood directly in front of us, like no personal space, just staring at us. And we were trying to ignore him. And then he started like poking me, trying to get my attention. So that was wonderful. And then we made it to this like the enclosure area where our accommodation is, or it's back there. And the lady was like, we don't have dinner in here, but we are barbecuing some chicken, but also you can't leave to go get dinner because it's not safe out there, especially at night. And so we had barbecue chicken, which was very good. It was just chicken, like nothing else, but it was very good, very salty. Immediately when we walked into our, is it an Eco Bungalow? Is this the place it's called that? I don't know. There's a lizard on the wall, which is great for some people, not for me, but that's fine. The shower head didn't really work. I spent like 10 minutes in the shower, either getting ice cold water or hot water or just a mist or just a dribble. Finally, I figured it out for like the last 10 minutes and got like a consistent warm water, but it's one of the ones that you have to like hold up. And then the Wi-Fi doesn't work in our accommodation, but in the main area it works, which is the same as the first place we stayed. Is like technically there's Wi-Fi that reaches out there, but it doesn't work. Discord also doesn't work for some reason, like on data. I don't know why. I have to connect to Wi-Fi to get Discord to work fully. Like some of it loads, but then not all the way, so I can't read all the messages. And also, Twitter is blocked in Tanzania.